she does right when she wants to, and she probably thinks the same thing about me. Hey good people, it's Sheena. Welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to do something I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I felt like everything had to be perfect, and that's just talking about the plants that I have. I became a plant mom a little over 3 years ago, so I wanted all my pots to be cute, curtains in every window, and that's just not the case. We've been living in this home for a little over 2 years, and we are still renovating, doing things to make it feel like home. And some of my plants are not even blooming. Some of them look like they need to be in ICU. So it is what it is. This is real life. I figure I'll go ahead and do the video. The first plant we're going to talk about is my Monstera plant. This plant was given to me by a friend. She brought it to work. It's a clipping from her plant at home, and I just left it in water and I let it root up. So right now I have it on a table, an end table, until I can put it in soil. So let's take a look at it. This is my Monstera plant. As you can see, I still have it in water, and right now I just have it here to keep it away from Stormy. That's my little kitten. And it's been doing well. I was told that when it likes the spot that it's in, that's when the leaves will split. And I only have a few, and then I have this little baby coming in right now. And I'll show pictures of what it looks like, if I can, when I first got the plant. I absolutely love this plant. I can't wait until it gets big and I can put it like in a corner and it can just completely take the corner over. But right now she is still trying to make her way out of the water. So I will keep you guys updated on it. Okay, so the next plant is the orchid. I have 2 orchids. The first one I got 2 years ago, and this is how it's looking now. As you can see, there are no blooms, and I did cut off the stem because I feel like it was dead, but I kept the orchid just in case because the leaves are still green. So with this orchid, this is my first one. I had blooms on it when I first bought it. I'm pretty sure I got it from either Lowe's or Home Depot. The petals fell off and I didn't do anything to it. I kept watering it maybe every 10 days, and before you know it, I had a new stem coming in, and then I had new petals forming. And I don't know if it's because I did not cut it. I don't really know the rhyme or reason, but I just kind of left it alone. I got another orchid, and this one is much bigger than the first one, but I am thinking about getting a big pot and put them both in there together. I don't know how that'll work out. Okay, so my next plant is somewhat of a diva. I know people say the orchids are the divas, but the orchids really haven't given me any issues. But this plant, she kind of gets on my nerves a little bit. Like, she can really pout, and that is the nerve plant. Right now I have her on a stand. And here she is. And as you see, she likes to trail a little bit. She is a plant that is more of a floor spreader. So I don't know, I may change the pot that she's in. for quite some time. She was itty bitty when I first got her and another plant. And yeah, she's just a troublemaker. Speaking of troublemakers, so I am listing these plants as hardest as easiest for me to take care of. So the nerve plant is coming in at number 8, but another plant that comes in at number 8 as being a diva is the African violet. She does right when she wants to, and she probably thinks the same thing about me. But this is another clipping I was given from my friend. She took a leaf, put it in the soil, and that soil made little babies. From those babies, I was able to get blooms, and I'll show a picture of what that looked like. So from those babies, I took a leaf, and this is that leaf, and now these are all the babies. Will I get a bloom? I don't know. This is another plant I will be repotting soon. Another diva. Another plant that I absolutely love, coming in at number 7, is the Fiddle Leaf Fig. I was so afraid of this plant at first, and when I first got it, it was like not even reaching this chair rail. But I just watered it probably about once a week. Most of my plants I'm watering once a week or once every 10 days. In the summertime, I give them a little bit more water. It's hotter by the window. But yeah, I was so surprised and amazed at how quickly he grew. His name is Mr. Fiddle. He is growing tall, but he ain't got no meat on his bones. So I'm thinking about going in and maybe making some little notches just to see if I can beef him up a little bit. But other than that, I'm quite pleased. As you can see, all of these leaves are kind of growing up. They were once on this side. I'm assuming they're trying to reach towards the sun. So I try to go in and turn a little bit. This is another plant that my kitten likes to just get in the pot and just sit. He doesn't dig the dirt up or anything like that. He just sits in there. I don't know why. Okay, so this next plant is like very top of my list as my favorite plant. It is one of the first like trending indoor house plants that I got, and that is the Birkin. So this plant has been in this same pot since I got it maybe 2 years ago. It was like one of my first like house plants to decorate with the stand and everything. I just absolutely loved it. But in the beginning, it was a little confusing for me because I had this plant, or I have this plant next to some very low maintenance plants. So I was watering it on the same schedule as those plants. So I started watering it more often, and that's when I saw always some new leaves coming in. Just a beautiful plant. So with this plant, I'm watering at least once or twice a week, versus the low maintenance plant, I might not water it. I might go 3-4 weeks without watering it. And I just love how different the leaves come in. You just never know. Okay, this next plant I've really grown to love. I used to see it all the time and I really didn't think much of it. And then one day I went to an alteration shop for my daughter for her prom dress. And the seamstress, she had a huge Dumbcane plant in the corner across the room, still getting some sunlight. And I don't know if I had a twinkle in my eye, but she was like, "You want to cut it?" And I was not about to turn it down. So she cut me a piece, gave it to me in a coffee cup with water, because that's all we had. And I let it stay in that cup, let it grow some roots. We potted it, and this is what we have today. It's just like the cutest. yeah, it's so cute. I can't wait till it gets like super tall, um, almost to the ceiling, and yeah, it's just so beautiful. You give me ice and fire. You're chilling when the rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. Okay, so this is my Arrowhead plant, and she is pretty easy. Like, I just water her maybe once or twice a week, and she will crawl sometimes. She has these beautiful patterns, beautiful color, and she started off so small. Both she and the nerve plant started off small. I got them at the same time from either Lowe's or Home Depot, and their names are Tip and Aaliyah. They are named after my two cousins that are AKA, so shout out to the pink and green girls. So this next plant is a plant I think everyone has seen before, be it as a gift or at a funeral, and that is the peace lily. So the peace lily is considered a very easy plant. However, I think when it comes to getting blooms, that can make it a little bit more difficult. But I love the fact that it tells you exactly what it's feeling. If it needs water, if it needs to be repotted, does it need to be repotted? Right now I have two peace lilies, and the peace lily was the first plant I received to become a plant mom, and that's when my husband's grandmother passed away. The peace lily was one of the plants my mother-in-law gave me, and so I named the plant Ruby after her. And I think I was so amazed that I was able to keep her alive. And then it seems like when you have a plant after someone that is deceased, you feel like you have to keep that plant alive, you know? Or it could just be me. But I kept her alive. Even when we moved, I was like, oh, she's probably not gonna do well, because with plants, you really have to find out what their spot is. And once they get used to a certain spot, you really don't wanna move them. But I didn't have any issues. So she is a smaller peace lily, and then I also have a larger one. So I'm gonna show what Ruby looked like when I first got her, when I first got the blooms. So like I said, I have two peace lilies. So that one I showed you was Ruby, and the other peace lily I got Memorial Day of last year, I believe. She is a bigger species, and I named her Big Mom after my mom's mom. And this is her. So another plant that is right up there with the peace lily as far as taking care of is my aloe plant and my succulents, the cacti and succulent family. At first I had a little bit of issues just because I was doing way too much. Like, if you like to really be on your plant, like, the aloe will just make you go crazy because it just doesn't need all of that attention. So this plant is from another clipping from my friend at work, and I split it up into three. I have two more, but they're smaller. They probably just need to be in a bigger pot, but I just absolutely love how big it's gotten. And the plan is to put this outside. It was originally bought, like the pot and all that kind of stuff, to stay outdoors, but I wanted it to get established first before I just let it go through its first frost. So we're gonna see how that goes this year when it gets a little colder outside. But yeah, I love having an aloe in the house. I love being able to break it to make things for my skin, for my hair. Okay, so we're almost at the last two, and if you are in the plant world, you've probably figured out what those last two are. But this one is the ZZ plant. So I have two ZZ plants. I have one right here with me now, so I'll hold it up. And this is called the Raven, and as you can see, the leaves are dark. So I've had this plant on this table, so it's kind of in the middle. So it's kind of in the middle of the two windows, as you can see. So it does not get as much light as it could get. So I'm probably going to put it right back in front of the window, because I think I read the more sunlight it gets, the darker the leaves gets. And that's why I bought it, because of the dark leaves. And I am a girl that loves the color black. So if I can have a plant that's that color, it's great. So yeah, I absolutely love this plant. I actually broke off a piece and gave it to my best friend, and her plant is doing well. So I am thinking about maybe propagating it one more time. But I would love for this to get bigger and bigger and have it somewhere else in my home. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you where I have the second ZZ plant. So this is the second ZZ plant. It could be better. It could be doing better. But it definitely needs to, I think, just be repotted. I haven't been watering it on a good schedule. I'm kind of watering it whenever I think about it, and that could be a whole month without watering it, which normally is fine. It's just I need to make that the schedule. But other than that, it does well. This was like the first plant that I got like a baby pop-up or a shoot. And I felt so like achieved, and my husband calls these plants confident boosters. Yeah, and it did boost my confidence with this plant and the other plant, as far as can I be a plant mom. Which brings me to the last plant, in my opinion, the easiest plant, and that is the snake plant. So I've had this snake plant for a little over 2.5 years. I got it around the same time, or I got it the same time I got this ZZ plant, and it has been in the same pot. This is a plant that I have not propagated. I have seen where they cut the leaf and just stick it in some dirt, and then you have new babies. I'm definitely going to try that, because I do like this style of snake plants. And I have a second one that I'm going to show you. It has a darker color, and this is the darker color. I'm actually thinking about putting it right here. I think that'll be great with the sun coming from the window. I think it'll be fine if it was placed there. But the second plant, bear with me. This is the second snake plant. As you can see, it's darker in color. But I would love to have a big planter with like a bunch of snake plants just all squished in there together. So I hope to buy some more snake plants soon. But to me, the snake plants are the absolute easiest to take care of. I pretty much water them once a month. Same with the ZZ plants, and that's about it. I mean, you don't need a ton of light to keep them going, and to me, it kind of elevates your home. Like whatever color paint you have on the wall, it doesn't matter. It's going to pop. To me, having the plants make your home look lived in and intentional, and just life, you know? So there is one bonus plant I want to show you guys, and it's an indoor plant for me, but I got it from outside. And that's one of my gardenia trees. When it was blooming, I cut some of the branches off and put it in water. Right now it is not blooming, and I have not had a bloom off of it since, but I keep it right here on my dining room table. But yeah, this is about 2 years old, I believe. And I was just outside bringing the gardenias in because you know the gardenias, they smell so great. And so I pretty much put them in water, and then they started rooting. So yeah, that's just something else to think about. If you do have something nice outside that you can root, or maybe it's not gonna last through the winter and you can just have it survive in your home, and that way when summer, spring comes back around, you can plant it back outside, because everything does not make it through the winter. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are excited about buying a new plant. I know I want to buy some more plants for my birthday, because it has been a while. I feel like I don't have a lot of plants compared to other plant moms, but this video is definitely for those that are just starting their plant journey or becoming a plant mom. You're always, you know, researching, trying to figure out what's the best way to take care of your plant, and a lot of times it's just give them light, give them water, and leave them alone. See you next time.